Equity, Perpetuities, and the Fiction of the Communist Court System. 1. Courts of equity still exist. Equity is not a dead relic of the British Crown, it's alive and well in U.S. jurisprudence, baked into modern court operations. Historically, courts of law followed rigid statutes while equity courts focused on fairness and moral remedy. Today, courts are merged but can still act in equity when justice demands it. This matters because many legal remedies, like injunctions or trusts, still arise from equitable principles. Footnote: Equity remains a functional part of the U.S. legal system, especially where law alone falls short of providing justice. 2. The dead legal fiction and communist allegory. There is a fringe interpretation that government identifies citizens in all caps, e.g., John Doe, as dead entities, akin to corporations or communists. In this view, individuals must revoke membership in the communist system by disavowing their status as United States citizens. This claim has no legal standing in any recognized court but is popular among sovereign citizen theorists. Footnote: Some individuals believe government identification systems create a legal fiction of death or communism, despite zero support in actual law. 3. Perpetuities and equity conversion. Equity, in its classical role, enables the conversion of one form of value, e.g., land, into another, e.g., money. According to this theory, silver and gold are considered land or inheritance held in perpetuity by banks or the church. The belief is that individuals must submit a bill in equity to reclaim these assets. In legal reality, perpetuities refer to rules limiting indefinite control over property, e.g., the rule against perpetuities, not hidden silver-backed accounts. Footnote: Perpetuities in equity law concern time-limited control over property, not buried inheritance accounts held by banks or churches. 4. The bill in equity is a financial tool. Advocates of this theory propose submitting a bill in equity to courts in order to convert presumed birthright assets, in silver, into Federal Reserve dollars. A fictive conversion ratio is often cited, e.g., 1 silver dollar equals 18 or 28 FRNs. Courts, however, do not process private monetary conversions, nor do they recognize such instruments without legitimate legal basis. Equity doesn't function like a vending machine for fiat cash. Footnote: Submitting bills in equity for private monetary conversion is not a recognized legal practice in any U.S. court. 5. Clerks of court and alleged obligations. The argument continues that clerks of court are legally required to sign off on these equity conversions, acting as guarantors of monetary exchange. This relies on redefining roles within the judicial system and assigning duties that do not legally exist. Clerks of court manage documents, they don't settle fictitious currency exchanges or endorse personal claims of sovereign status. Footnote: Clerks of court do not authorize financial conversions or endorse personal redemption of speculative equity claims. 6. Expatriation and sovereignty claims. Another belief expressed is that citizens can file documents to expatriate themselves from the U.S. system, thus restoring status as sovereign individuals under a republic form of law. These actions are framed as revoking Communist Party membership. In practice, expatriation does exist, via the IRS and State Department, but it's an administrative process, not a metaphysical or symbolic gesture. Footnote: Legal expatriation is a formal process governed by federal agencies, not a ritual declaration of non-participation in communist law. 7. Bills of privilege and legal retaliation. The Bill of Privilege is cited as a remedy against court officials or law enforcement officers who fail to process fictive equity claims. Historically, this term referred to lawsuits against court officers protected by privilege, not to retaliatory filings by self-declared sovereigns. The modern interpretation of this bill has no force in law and is not used in legitimate litigation. Footnote: Bills of privilege were historical procedural tools, not contemporary weapons against clerks or law enforcement. 8. The fiction of the executor and living trust theory. This theory frames terms like executor or X as markers of legal death. In reality, an executor is simply a person authorized to administer a will. It has nothing to do with communism or spiritual demise. The notion that rejecting the title of executor restores one's status as alive is a misapplication of probate terminology. Footnote: executors handle estates, not communist fictions, and the title doesn't declare a person legally dead. 9. Currency, conversion, and commodity myths. Supporters of this model argue that Federal Reserve dollars are fictional, while silver and gold are real because they're tied to land. They propose courts should convert paper currency into precious metals at set ratios. While these metals do have historical and economic significance, modern U.S. currency is fiat by design and not convertible through courts of equity. Footnote: courts don't exchange fiat currency for metals. Federal Reserve notes are not redeemable for silver or gold by any U.S. court. 10. Conclusion: courts are not currency dealers. Equity courts offer remedies rooted in fairness, not free market alchemy. The concept of filing bills to claim hidden wealth, convert metals, or escape legal identity is not law, it's legal mythology. Anyone attempting to test these theories in a real courtroom should expect frustration and likely sanctions. The legal system is complex, but it's not secretly communist. It's just painfully bureaucratic. Footnote: real courts operate on statute and precedent, not mythological conversions or fictionalized declarations of sovereignty.